I'm excited to talk about this one.
You're the one for me, that's why I give you everything.
Hi everybody and welcome back to Book It. I am Sav Lewis and today we are going to be diving into a book that I actually loved. I have to confess, I know people on the internet hated it. I loved it. Today we're talking about Colleen Hoover's Confess. See what I get there? Fun. And I will say this video will have spoilers of this book, so if you haven't read it or you don't want to, be spoiled by it, please go ahead and click away. Also, there are some triggers for this book, not as many, but there is sexual assault almost occurs and is talked about, drugs, and there's death. So if any of that bothers you, please go ahead and click away from this video now for your mental health and my mental sanity. So let's go ahead and dive into Confess. So Confess is a new adult contemporary romance novel. And I even wrote a little thing. Okay. It's a novel that follows Auburn Reed and she is determined to rebuild her life after losing someone she loves. When she stumbles onto an art studio to find a job, she meets Owen Gentry. Owen is a dark and mysterious art dealer and artist that has a dark secret. The fact that the confessions were sent in from readers makes the book 10 times better, and that makes everything better. So in this book, we meet Owen Gentry. His real name is Owen Mason Gentry, so OMG. So we meet OMG, and he's, super dark, super, whatever. And Auburn's like, hey, where do you get your inspiration for your art pieces? And he says, well, they're confessions. People, go past his door and they slide in a little note of his confession or into a confession box that he has, and then he makes art based on that. Colleen Hoover came out and said that all the confessions that she used in the book and as inspiration were sent in by actual readers, which was really cool. Or that makes the book just 10 times better. So Auburn Summers in, gets a job, and then this is a slow burn novel. She basically her job is to sit at the front and just ring people out as they, buy the art that he has made. She starts to like him. They have a slow burn love. She guards herself because she has a really dark past, and he is kind of the same way, where they're both kind of just all she knows is that he has a bad relationship with his father, and all he knows is that she lives with a roommate. What's her roommate? Her roommate's name is Emery, which Emery's kind of crazy, but we do love Emery. So we do learn throughout the book that her ex-boyfriend Adam has passed away when they were younger, and that really took a negative toll on her. She just couldn't really pull herself back together after losing him at such a young age, especially because they talk about it in here, their love story was they wanted to be together until the final ends, yet due to being in school and due to their parents and where they were living, they could not be together, which is very, very sad. And then throughout the book, we just kind of see her trying to not only rebuild herself, but we learn one day that she has a son, and that her ex-boyfriend, Adam's parents or Adam's mom, does have full custody of him because she signed it over when she was younger to them. We do meet Trey, which is Adam's brother. There's a lot of people in this book. Trey is a police officer that polices in the town that she has moved to because she moved there to get closer to her son. And he is a police officer, and at the end of the day, he sucks. Basically, he tries to get her to get with him throughout the entire book because he's like, hey, if we're together, we'll be parents to your son. This guy sucks. Trey sucks, hands down. So she's kind of forced to be with Trey because of their son, but she really likes Owen, even though Owen is seen as the bad boy around town. When we dive into Owen more, we learn that his dad is the most toxic person in the world. His dad has a serious drug addiction, and Owen takes the fall for it just because his dad is very high and everyone knows who his dad is. His dad's very active in the community. I think he's a politician, everyone knows him. So Owen takes the fall for him often, which is really kind of sad. So there is one part in the book when Owen gets sent to jail because of his father for 28 days. He has to go serve behind bars because Trey pulled him over when he was picking his dad up off of a bender and had drugs in the car, and Owen took the fall for them because he's such a great son. So when he's in jail, Auburn gets really close with Trey because that was all Trey's plan all along, was to get him and her alone. And he does try to sexually assault her. But Emery, the cuckoo roommate, comes in and like beats him up because she's amazing. So I love her for that. There are photos in here throughout the book based on like the artwork. So this one is Sometimes I Wonder If Being Dead Would Be Easier Than Being His Mother, which was a confession that he got. They never say what this one is, I don't think, but that's a really pretty one. These people. This one, and then this one right here. This one right here falls into my favorite quote of the book, which is, "I'll love you forever even when I can't." So at the end of the book, this is when the big spoiler comes in. There was a good plot twist to this book. At the very end of the book, she finds this piece. And she's like, "Oh, that's a very lovely piece. I love it." And she reads the back and she sees that confession. And that really hits her because this was a quote that her and Adam would say to each other all the time. "I love you forever even when I can't." And when he passed away, that was like the last thing he said to her. And then we kind of learned that the same time that Adam was dying in the hospital, Owen's mom was also dying in the hospital. So I guess one day they stumbled upon each other, or Owen stumbled upon Adam. They began talking. Adam basically told him all about this girl he was madly in love with and gave him this confession that I'm going to love her forever even when I can't. And so I guess Owen turned around and made that art piece for Adam. Sadly, Adam did pass away, and, you know, he kept it, and he was inspired by that to become an artist. So it all kind of goes back and forth to one another. And they both bonded over just Trey being an a-hole at the end of the day because Owen got into a fight with him, whatever. This book, I don't know why this book gets so much hate. I really don't. I understand that everyone, when It Ends With Us and Verity and Ugly Love all came out, I get that this book was overlooked. I really do. But this is a really good book. There's a good plot twist. There's good, basically everything. The story flows quite nicely. There's nothing too out of reach here. It's all kind of just like interconnected. You find out about, you know, Owen's mom dying, you find about Adam dying, and then you realize they died in the same hospital because they're the same area. They're the same, like, it all makes sense. It's not just like, oh, this happened and then this happened and this happened. It all flowed very nicely together, which I really enjoyed. With that being said, is this my favorite book by Colleen Hoover? No. Is this the best book I think that she's written? No. But I do think that it is one of the top books because it's just really good. The notes that I had in here were, what, and OMG. I originally did that at first, and then when I found out that his name was Owen Mason Gentry, I thought it was even more funny that OMG was the name of one of my tags. But yeah, so this one doesn't have a lot. This one actually does have a lot of tabs in it, but that's just because this was like my third or fourth book I started like annotating properly, and so, you know, you win some, you lose some. So I already said my favorite quote. I think that this book is a 4 out of 5 for those that, you know, I don't even know what that means. yep, I just lost my train of thought. No, I think this book is a 4 out of 5. It's definitely not the best I've read, but it's also really good, and I would read this again. And I do recommend this to people when they want to read a Colleen Hoover book, but they don't want something that's so, like, they are like, I've already read Verity, and I've already read Ugly Love, and I've already read everything else, and I can't find anything. I tried November 9th, and I tried Reminders of Him, and I just couldn't get into it. I recommend Confess. I feel like it's an overlooked book. I think it's underrated. I think it's really good. So OMG, this book was really good. Yeah, I was very excited to do that book review just because it was like a happy one and it wasn't like some of my other ones that I've already filmed and that are like going to be coming out are like I really take like an absolute shit on some books where I'm like, yeah, I know everyone loved this book. I hated it, and let me tell you why. But I said I would be really honest when I made these book reviews. So, in all honesty, I really liked the book. I thought it was great, amazing, spectacular. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and put my Goodreads down below. And then on top of that, I'll probably link the book too so people can buy the book on like Amazon. I'll make like a little Amazon thing for it. That sounds like a smart thing to do. Speaking out loud. I don't know if it'll be on this one, but it's something I should do for sure. When it comes to spice level, I know that Colleen Hoover does have some spicy content, some sexual things. This is like maybe a 2 if you stretch it. Maybe not even that. There are some like spicy scenes, but there's nothing really like, oh my god, like nothing like a big like, oh my god, like wow. But yes, so spice level like maybe a 1.6, 2 if I'm being nice on a nice day. All right, I think that is it though for now. I know I keep throwing this book and then picking it back up. I do apologize for that. Still don't know what to do with my hands. Yes, but thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and follow my Goodreads down below. I will go ahead and be posting this review after everything. The review will be out before the video is out, just for me to keep track of what I'm doing. And then also make sure you follow me on my social media. Make sure you like and subscribe. And then also comment down below, what was your favorite Colleen Hoover book? And or did you actually like this book, or were you a part of the people who just didn't like it for whatever reason? I understand it's not the mainstream one, but I really want to know what you thought about it at the end of the day. But that's it until now, and until next time, bye!